Okay. Hi.
Hello.
Hey.
Welcome back to the Miles and Moms podcast. We are a podcast for moms who run. We're chasing goals through all seasons of life. My name is Shanna.
I'm Olivia.
And then we have a guest today,
Hi, I'm Morgan Nokes.
Morgan Nokes. And she has a really cool story, you guys, because she just had her first baby. And she's running collegiately right now, which is so rad. But we are bringing you training tips, mom plus expert interviews, and the kind of best friend banter that makes you feel like you're on a run with us. Whether it's your first 5K, your next marathon, or a stroller tempo, or running collegiately, we got your miles and we got your sanity. We'd appreciate it if you can rate, subscribe, and share our podcast with another fellow mama.
Yay. And I've got our everyday hero shout out. This one must have been sent in to you. I looked up her handle because it's just
Cute.
it's Bree Pant Skiv. So it's a bunch of
I know.
letters. I was like, well, I don't know how to read that. Her name is hold on, I just looked her up. Her name is Brienne, so which makes sense with Bree. But she just wrote in, "Hi, I ran my 10th marathon at 24 weeks pregnant with my second baby this past weekend at Walt Disney World." So that is incredible. Shanna even had a mic drop for that, apparently.
Like, of course, my phone falls right then. I mean, it deserves a mic drop. I ran at 16 weeks, and I keep telling my audience, I'm like, I would never run a marathon at this point. I'm so glad I am done with that training. My pelvic floor is not happy with anything over 13 miles right now at one go. So all these women that are just like citing, and they're like, "Oh, you ran a marathon at 16 weeks, cute. I ran one at 28. I ran one at 24. I'm running one at 32. I had one lady just sent one in. She was like, I'm running one at 32 weeks. Do you think I'm good? I'm like, girl, I'm bowing down to you.
That's incredible. I do wonder if it's like, if your training block had taken you up and peaked you at a different time, like if that's part of it, and you're like, stop giving me credit. I just wonder if that's part of it, though, because you were in a training block for so long, and then now you feel this way because you did have to take time off, which, like, being pregnant and, like, I feel like not pregnant and taking time off and then getting back into it is already hard enough. But then adding pregnancy on top of it because you're so tired in that second trimester, it's like, yes, you have more energy, but the naps that you get if you do snag a nap, they are like totally different level of napping. Like, I always just say it, when you take a nap in the second trimester, it's just going back to bed because that's like full REM sleep.
It's like last night, my husband was like, he was like, I was going to tap you last night because when you fell asleep at 10 o'clock, you were out and you were snoring. And I was like, wow, that's how heavy I sleep now. I'm just like, God, nobody can shake me. Nobody can wake me up. I wake up at like, whenever my alarm clock goes off, I was like, wow, that's the best sleep I've ever had. And it's because I didn't wake up one time. My husband probably woke up like 5 with the kids, and I just didn't know. So
that is so nice. It's okay. You're gonna make up for it. So
yeah,
you're like, get all that sleep. Let him deal with all the kids. Like,
I know.
he's got it. Okay.
So true.
That's incredible. But 10th marathon at 24 weeks pregnant, second baby. That's marathon training with another child too. So that's incredible. So way to go, Brienne.
You're awesome.
Yeah.
Well, how's everybody's week going? I mean, Olivia, what are you up to these days? I feel like you're building up for something. You got to be building up for something.
I know. I've been doing so many easy runs. It's been I'm like, I have to get something on the books. So I just signed up for a half marathon on February 22nd, which is awesome, super exciting. And it's one day before my birthday, so it said race age 32, and I was like, yes. I'm still in that 32 range.
What are you trying to say?
That I'm younger than you. No, I'm just kidding. And then I did sign up for my first 5K, so I'm very excited about that. And it's on the track, which is so exciting. And I'm just very, very excited. It's like obviously an amateur thing, like anybody could sign up for it, but just to kind of put myself out there in a different way where I feel like even last year I would have probably not done this because I would have felt like I just don't belong. But like I'm gonna be 33 at the time, like, who gives a crap anymore, right? Like, what anybody thinks. So, I'm so excited about that. It's just gonna be so different and fun, and I'm nervous to run at such a high effort. So, yeah, I could just because 'cause I'm, like, getting out of recovery mode right now, so hitting anything fast
Yeah.
is a little bit funny, so I legs just
Yeah.
don't wanna turn over, but we'll get there. So, yeah. What about you, Morgan? What's new with you? How you doing?
Yeah, I just got over the flu
Oh.
like last week.
Oh,
And
no.
so I was in Boise for break with my family. And then came back here, got the flu. And so I kind of just finished recovering. We did a workout that went like decent for having the flu. And I actually have a race tomorrow.
Oh my
No
gosh.
way!
Yeah. It's in Pocatello.
Oh,
Um
fun.
And yeah, it's gonna be my first indoor race, which is hilarious considering like everything that's like just happened leading up to this. But we're just gonna say a prayer and just hope for the best and hope
Yeah, you're like
it works. Yeah.
That's
But I'm excited. It should
awesome.
be good. I mean, you always need like a race that's just kind of like ripping off the band-aid and just
Mhm.
seeing kind of where your fitness is at. So I'm like, well, we'll just see what's going on. I have no idea at this point. So
That's so cool.
yeah.
Yeah. You came off a very stellar performance of a cross country season though. Like
Thank you.
I'm very, very like I'm anticipating. I love the track scene. So I'm like anticipating following you through that track scene
You're
and
sweet.
just
Yeah.
showing so many women like Motherhood is badass. Like I'm so
Yeah.
excited for you with that because it's just not a scene that you see very often. You don't see usually
Mhm.
moms on the track with their kids. Like it's very rare. I feel like we're seeing it
Yeah.
more now with like the pros having
Totally.
and stuff, but especially at your age frame, like it just is not as common. And so it's
No.
pretty cool that you'll be out there rocking those paces and your little one will just be right there waiting for you. So
Thanks. I know he turns 2, sorry. He turns 1 in 2 months, and
that's
it's crazy to me because like I'm trying to make it to indoor nationals, of course. That's like the next
yeah,
goal. And if I like take him with me, like he'll be 1 at that point. Like which is so weird to me that this whole journey like he's just been growing with me, you know what I mean, and getting bigger and now it's like, "Oh my gosh, like that's such a big milestone to hit." So, it's so
yeah.
exciting.
Do you have a specific event you're trying to make it in?
I like for me, it's like the longer the better. Like
Yeah,
I'm so excited for like after college to like do marathons and half marathons. Like I hear people talk about them and I'm just like I'm so excited for that.
yeah,
So for me, like outdoor track, it's like the 10K because that's the longest you can go, and then indoor it's a 5K because that's the longest you can go. So the longer the better. So the 5K for me is what I think I would be the best in. So hopefully we'll see. So
yeah. That's awesome. That'll
yeah,
be
thank
super
you.
exciting to watch.
That's so cool. I'm so excited to dive into your story and
Yes.
just like it's such a good reframe just for everything that like we're trying to do with this podcast and just for moms out there everywhere or especially people who are not moms. And
Yeah.
I always try to say so much like if you're putting off becoming a mom for
Mhm.
some personal event like race or something like that, that it's uh, like, choose the baby. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, depending on the season, but that's why I'm really excited to dive into, like, just where you're coming from and
Yeah.
everything. So and just that you're so young still and, are just in the season of life that we're kind of in, but,
Yeah. Oh, totally.
so,
Yeah.
yeah. What's new with you, Shanna? Other than
Oh, I'm just getting bigger every week.
Mhm.
I ran it today with my husband, which was awesome because it was
Oh,
actually probably where my heart rate needed to be pregnant now.
oh my
But
gosh.
it was really cute. Like, normally I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to run those paces," but today I was like, "I probably should run those paces." So,
That's so
it was
nice.
really nice. Yeah, so we ran a few miles together and then we split off and I kept going because obviously I'm never content with just running 4, but it was fun. It was super fun. But yeah, I don't know. I'm training for a half marathon. I hate saying that 'cause I'm like, I'm really not. I'm just getting slower as the time goes on. But yeah, just kind of trying to ride out pregnancy as long as possible and stay as much in shape as possible so that comeback is not as rough. So
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
still doing big workouts. So honestly, probably that those first 4 miles were probably super nice after that big
yeah,
workout yesterday. So
yeah,
that's
my
super
body
cool.
needed recovery after that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I have a coach because I probably would have never scheduled myself that workout. That was just
Okay, not pregnant though, you say the same thing every
it's
time. I
true.
like where you see something and you're like, "Oh my gosh, can I even do this?" And then,
Yeah,
that's one of the great things about having someone to tell you what to do. It's like they see something that you don't.
it's so true. So
Yeah.
true. Well, let's go ahead and dive into Morgan's bio and then we'll jump into some questions. Okay, Morgan Nokes grew up in Boise, Idaho with her parents and siblings. After high school, she was grateful to earn a walk on opportunity at Utah State University. Very impressive, by the way,
Thank you.
despite not having standout times. While competing at Utah State, she met her husband, who was running at BYU. After 3 years at USU, Morgan transferred to Utah Valley University so they could live closer to both schools, get married, and continue training together. Following one season at UVU, she felt a strong desire to become a mother. The couple became pregnant in June and welcomed their son, Theo, in early March. And I love how humble she was. Not one time, you guys, did she brag about the fact that you placed top 10 at nationals or at WAC.
Oh yeah, whack. Yeah.
Yeah. So it makes me laugh because I'm like, there's none of that in there. She just talk about her postpartum comeback smashing the courses or anything. I'm just like, oh, what a humble person.
It's so nice.
I'm gonna brag her up because that's what I saw from your reel. I was like, who is this girl running college her last year with a baby and is postpartum and killing it? So
Thank you.
congratulations on your past season.
Thanks.
I mean, obviously there's so many questions we want to dive into, so we'll try to
Yeah.
get through that as much as possible. But I'm excited. I'm excited for this
Me
conversation.
too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I cannot explain to you how fast Shanna hit that share button when she saw that.
That's
I
so
mean,
sweet.
like, I bet she was halfway through and was like, "Bam, I'm sending that."
Yeah.
We just have talked so much about, like, reshaping the narrative of, like, motherhood and things like that, and, like, Shanna did a track
Yeah.
season last year, and, I think it's always been this when someone has a baby and then also is doing something athletic, and it's like, "And she's a mom." Like,
Yeah,
as if that's
seriously.
the thing that's going to stop you, not like they can just come along. Like, my mom she always says the words, "Well, you guys were portable," and it's always stuck in my mind, and
Yeah.
that was, like, watching Shanna walk up to the track with her 6 kids in tow, and I was like, "They are all so
Yeah.
portable, look at that." You know? Well, okay, so can you take us back a little bit and
Yeah.
talk about your running background? Like, how did running even stumble into your life?
Oh, totally. So I was always gonna be like a soccer player. Like that was always my thing. And I feel like you can hear this like a lot with a lot of runners because running or soccer is so like you just run like the whole time and you need to be in shape for that. And so I was playing club soccer in Boise and I just was like, oh, I just need to run to get in shape and to be a little bit quicker just to help my team out. And so I started to run and I remember like I loved running in, like, elementary school even, like, we would do, like, just, like, a mile time trial or something, and it was, like, the highlight of my life, like, I was like, "This is where I shine, is running and being athletic," like, that was kind of my thing, um, and then it continued into middle school, I did cross country and track, and it was just, like it was so much fun, it just felt like it gave me a purpose, and then, I remember, like, in middle school, I got, like, the most athletic girl award, and it was, like my life was made. Like, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so cool." Like, it was just my thing. Um, and then got into high school, and I did soccer for the first year and running, and I was like, "This is really hard, like, to do both." Like, I was so tired all the time, and, like, thinking about what I put my body through, like, as, like, a high schooler, I'm like, "Wow, I was impressive." I was probably more impressive back then than I am now. But, yeah, I kind of realized that it wasn't sustainable, and I needed to pick one, and I realized if I wanted to run or just do a sport in college that it was probably gonna be running because that was something that I excelled more in than soccer, and I loved both of them so much. I mean, they're different, but they are both such amazing sports, but I figured that if I wanted to run in college or do a sport in college, it would be with running because I just had more talent in that aspect. And yeah,
That's
That
crazy. So when you applied to colleges, was like soccer even on the radar? Like, were you going for recruiting for any type of soccer? Or were you already made up your mind by the time you applied
yeah.
that you're only going to go for recruiting for running?
Yeah, it was only running, and I remember my dad being like, "You need to write out an email about yourself and send it to all these colleges because no one was interested in me, truly, and I knew that, and that's
No.
okay. I just didn't like I said, I didn't have very good times. I never made it to, state and track, like, my whole high school career. I think I might have, but COVID, so I didn't get to my last year even
Right.
go. Um, and so I sent I made this little bio about myself and I sent it to so many colleges and I got rejected by like every single one and that's okay. They were a little bit probably far out of my reach. I just figured I would send them.
Yeah.
um and then I think I went to a cross country camp at Utah State. It was like a winter one for high schoolers to kind of go and see what it's about. And so I got to meet the coaches, and just, go to the camp and see the campus. And it was at Utah State, and I was like, "Wow, this place is beautiful." I like the coaches. I love the atmosphere, the place. It's not too far away from home. And so after that, I kind of was like my sights were set right on Utah State, and I was gonna really try and go there. And quite honestly, I begged to be on the team. We had very many
Awesome,
emails.
though.
I was like, "I'm very interested, just
Yeah.
so you know."
Yeah.
um,
I mean, it
and
worked.
yeah,
You
it
put your
worked. It totally
on.
did.
So I think that's
Yeah.
like I think that says a lot to anybody that's listening. Like,
Oh
it
yeah,
the answer is always going to be no if you never ask. So
totally.
why not ask, right? Like, me and Olivia, we
Yeah,
actually had a funny situation with Phoenix Marathon. So Phoenix Marathon,
yeah,
they ran their first, it was like their debut this
yeah,
year, and we applied to it, the elite field,
yeah.
and they were like, the times are what they are. So if you can run that time, then you can get in. I was like, it's your first year doing it though. There's no way you had that many elites applying to this race,
To this,
right?
yeah,
They didn't. Well, I mean,
yeah,
clearly, I got second place overall as a pregnant woman. Like, it just wasn't competitive, and so it makes me laugh because the answer will always be no if you don't ask, and so we
yeah.
asked, and I feel like that's so cool that you put yourself out there in such a vulnerable way over and over and over and over again, and rejection sucks, like, it does, and it never gets easier. It it always stings a little bit, but,
Yeah,
like, when you finally get your yes, it's all worth it. Like,
yeah.
it is worth it, and I feel like the stars always align where they need to align.
Oh,
So,
totally. Yeah, I was so grateful. Like, and I think it was because I pursued them, like, literally so heavily. Like, they were
yeah.
probably like, "Can this girl stop talking to us? Like, genuinely, leave us alone." Because I would go to their camps, and I think I went to, like, 2 of them just to be like, "Here's my face. Here I am. I'm here." And then, yeah, and then we just kept emailing, and then finally they were like, "Okay, like, you can we got one more spot, and obviously you want it, so you can have it." And I was
I
like, "Yes."
love that. That is so awesome. I love
I
it.
was
They're
so
like, "We're
excited.
gonna make room for anyone, it's her."
Yeah, they're like, "She really wants to be here," so
That is so cool. I love that persistence because I think as parents, our goal is for our kids to never, like, feel heartbreak, and
yeah,
so it's very hard to prepare your child for rejection in life. And so, for you, you've kind of experienced it already, and that the pursuit of something that you really want just takes persistence.
yeah,
And you honestly just kept going with it. And I think that's amazing.
yeah.
So I really do value that so much. I was like that with dance. I would send my ballet DVDs and pictures
Yeah!
of me out all the time. And I mean, over and over, they didn't say like, don't send 100 copies. And so I was like, I will
Yeah,
continue long as DVDs are a thing, I will continue to do this. So,
I
I
love it.
think that's awesome, but it just shows, like, how much passion you have with it, and I love that. So, I am not from the track world,
Yeah.
so, can you break down, like, what a like, how does a walk-on how does that
Oh,
work?
yeah, yeah. Um, so basically, like at Utah State, like I was offered no scholarship. So I was not on scholarship. My parents helped me pay for school. Um, going there. But I was able to like use all the facilities, of course. I got the gear. You're basically treated just like an athlete. Like I don't personally feel like I was treated differently for being a walk-on, other than I just had no money paying for my school to be there. So
Mhm.
I was just like a student athlete that just had to pay for my school, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But
So, part of the team and everything, you
yeah.
participate in the races and everything, it's not like a second team or anything?
Yeah, no,
Very
and
cool.
it's basically like so yeah, we all like go there together and then
Mhm.
they kind of pick who races off of like workouts and then how races go.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I was just grouped in with everyone else rather than like um okay, she's a walk-on, like she's automatically second team if that makes sense. It was like okay, we're all grouping these girls together and then we'll see what they can do from there and yeah.
Wow. Okay, that makes sense.
How I'm
Yeah.
curious how quickly you shifted from being a walk-on to being a part of, like, the team. Did you ever
Yeah.
get a scholarship at some point? Because looking at your times now, I'm like, you're definitely the caliber you should be getting
You're
at
sweet.
least partial to full rides, so
Yes, I did, eventually earn a scholarship, which was, that was really, really cool moment, because I was even though I was a walk-on, like, all the freshman girls, we were all, like, if not anything, like, same talent-wise, in my opinion, like, I was racing and beating some of them who were on scholarship, or then, like or sometimes we go back and forth, or workouts were better for them or for me, and so, it was pretty apparent that it was, like, I deserved one, as selfish as that might
yeah.
sound, um, because I remember one of my teammates, I told her, she was like, "Wait, you're a walk-on?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I wasn't good in high school, it's okay, I should be." But, like, that's what's so cool, though, about this like, about athletics is, like, you can earn one, which is so awesome. Like, you can prove yourself and earn one, which I love.
That's
Yeah.
really cool. Did you ever feel like you had to prove yourself more because you were a walk-on? Or
Um, that's a good question. I feel like not necessarily a walk-on because but, like, maybe as, like, a freshman, as a newcomer
uh,
in that aspect of, like, "Okay, I'm new here." I worked really hard to be here. Like, that summer before I came to USU, I kid you not, I would, like, go on runs and, like, envision, like, running with girls, like, them in front of me and trying to catch up to them, like, I was, like, so I knew that I was gonna have to work really hard to not be behind, but to also just be at their level. And so maybe not proving it to other people, but to myself,
yes,
kind
yeah.
of, if that makes sense. Like, I was trying to prove to myself that, like, "Hey, you worked really hard for this, you can do this. You can be up with them, you just have to keep working hard to do it."
Yeah. And I love that because that's, something that you could share with your kid one day, right? Like,
Yeah,
your kid's gonna go through an experience, whether it's trying to make a team in high school or a club team or a college team or whatever, even, like, applying for a job, right? Like,
yeah,
applying for colleges in general, like, he's gonna have to go through those experiences, and you can be like, "Hey,
totally.
I was there, but, you keep showing up," and the best part about showing up, especially in the sport of running, is that it does pay back. It will pay back.
Yes.
You can have all the talent in the world, and I tell this to people all the time, like, people with talent can only get so far until you outwork them
Yeah,
and or you out, discipline them, and eventually it catches up, and then you surpass, and so I think it speaks volumes of your discipline and your drive because you clearly kept showing up, you kept showing up, you kept showing up, and you're able to catch up, and
yeah,
even past people that probably had came into the sport with a higher level of talent,
yeah.
but your hard work just paid out. So,
Yeah, thank you, and I think consistency, like, too, is such a big thing with running that people don't understand. Is like, listen, if I just show up more than you, like more times than you, I'm probably gonna be better than you. And that's just like how it is with running. Like
Mhm.
sometimes it's just the little simple things of consistency. So
That is
yep.
so true. That is so true. Um It's funny. I feel 1,000 years older than you. So, I'm just gonna put that out there right now because I'm looking at you and I'm like, "God, that is she's so young."
No, we would be best friends in another life. Don't even stop,
But
guys.
they, like,
I'm like, but you're so I'm just I'm thinking about how like we share these common threads of a love for running, even though yours is totally different than mine. But like one day when you do a half marathon and you do a marathon, then we'll be able to geek out about that.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
when I do a 5K, we can geek out about
Yes.
that. But that we share this common thread also of motherhood. And it's just so funny. You're so mature and for your age, I think is a big part of it to mention. And that, even recognizing at your age, I'm going to bring this in a second, but
Yeah.
recognizing at your age that consistency proves to always be the gold standard of getting better is huge. I mean, because I think, I'm trying to think if in my early 20s, if I would have known something like that and not just heavily relied on my
Yeah.
talent for something. And I think that's just such a good message for non, like for amateur runners out there
Yeah.
that have a track background and are still coming into the sport. And then even for people that have this significant background in the sport, it's just consistency will always prove to be the main thing that you've got to rely on, which is so
Yeah.
cool. So you transferred schools after 3 years.
Yeah. So I actually, the first, like, it's like the second time in USU history, we got to go to nationals, the National Cross Country Championship. I met my husband there.
Cute.
Yeah. So, we met, and then we were like texting or whatnot. And then we actually started like dating and doing long distance. And then I would stay like I stayed this summer in Utah, so we were still like we were close by. I stayed like by in Provo pretty much. So we were still like we didn't have to do long distance at that point during the summer. And then we got engaged in October. And then yeah, then I was like, I don't want to live away from you anymore. This is not fun.
Cute. Oh my gosh. Okay, so he was like the reason that you transferred schools.
Yeah.
That's a huge decision.
Yeah,
Which
it was, but it felt so right, like, I knew that I was gonna be the one to transfer, and people always ask me, like, "Why didn't you transfer there?" And honestly, BYU, that men's team
yeah,
is so unbelievably talented.
yeah.
I've become friends with so many of them. I've seen my husband's life change being on that team, and, I'm so grateful that I did come here so that he won a national championship with his team. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't get that
Is is
anywhere like BYU. It was
Is
incredible.
Ice Stone still coaching that?
Yes,
Men
and
too?
I have so much respect for Coach Icestone and Ryan Way. They are such amazing coaches and people, and they truly care about their athletes. I mean, I've been able to experience it secondhand watching my husband be on the team. And so sorry, just rant a little bit about BYU, but huge fan of that. And I'm a huge fan of my husband, of course. So
Yeah, no, it's worth noting. I think a lot of people don't realize how many fast runners there are in Utah in general,
so
and
many.
how like BYU is a very prominent place that puts out a lot
Yeah,
of very fast men and women.
totally.
And, because even when I was at Chicago, someone had mentioned like, "Oh, so many fast people up in northern Utah." And I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
there's so many people that we don't even know about." Like, that's what's crazy. Like, people who don't share their stories on social media. And
Mm,
it's like a crazy undertone of how many fast people are out there. So it's definitely worth noting.
Yeah.
I know.
I think it speaks volumes too of your maturity level and your guys' commitment to each other for you to have made that spot because now you're on a scholarship. So I'm curious to
Yeah.
hear what that transition looked like going to UVU, which again, another phenomenal program. I feel like
Yeah.
UVU, so that was a school that actually I applied to after having my first kid.
Yeah.
I got pregnant with my second kid and the rest is history because I had a billion kids after that. UVU was taking off. Usually it was like BYU first, and then if you don't get into BYU, you go to UVU, but it's not
Yeah.
like that anymore. Now it's like UVU has a very good program. And so I'm curious, like with your dedication, first of all, I just want to highlight that because I think that's incredible that you recognize that your husband had a gift and a talent too that you wanted to support. And so you came down there, and that's really cool because I think that's the foundation of marriage. Like it doesn't change. And especially now that you guys have a kid, I'm sure you see that even more in your marriage, how much you have to like balance each other and make sure that you're both giving, but you're also taking in places that you need to, and that you're supporting each other in all your dreams and goals that are individual as well as family based. But I think that's really cool that you were able to recognize that he had something great and you were willing to follow where you could, but still pursue your own goals as well. So yeah, what did that transition look like? So you were at Utah State, you transferred down to UV, which is about, what is that, like 2 hours between?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Something in there. So about 2 hour difference. You're a little bit further away from home now too, because you're not right at the Idaho border anymore. What did that look like, entail for you? Did you lose your scholarship? Did you still have a scholarship? Did you get a better scholarship? What was the program transition like? And yeah, I just want to hear like all the little details of what that looked like for you.
Oh yeah, for sure. So when we were getting married, I had two options, right? It was BYU or UVU was pretty much my options. I still honestly at this point didn't have amazing times. Like leaving USU. Like I had gotten so much better. And I think I still had a lot of potential that was untapped. But my times didn't necessarily still show like a level of the BYU, honestly. Like I didn't have probably good enough times to be recruited there still. Which is fine. I kind of had my heart set a little bit on UVU. It was kind of like they had just gone to nationals. They had had a really good year. I was super excited about their program, their long distance program. They had an amazing 10K runners, which is what I do. So I was kind of already like setting out for UVU. Um, and I like to be somewhere where I'm valued, right? Like everyone does. We want to be somewhere where we're wanted. And I had that UVU coach call me up right away and just be like, "Hey, come here. Like we want you here. We'll give you a scholarship. We want you to run here." And honestly, after that, I was like, "Yeah, hands down, I'm coming." Like because they wanted me, they were gonna value me as their athlete, and they were gonna show me that um with also scholarship money. So I did get quite a big increase in scholarship money, which
That's
I was
awesome.
super, super grateful for because it's hard, it's hard to pay for school and as a young married couple, I mean, especially when me and my husband were both trying to run, it's so hard because it's like your job too in a way. I tried to work. I actually worked at a running store while I was at UVU. Um, but yeah, it is super hard to be married, poor, and trying to run. So I was super grateful for the scholarship.
That's incredible. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Um, with your husband, are you guys able to train together at all, or is it more separate what you guys do?
Yeah, so when I first moved to the Provo area, I was actually like living in our apartment earlier before we were married by myself, and then he was like had his own apartment. Um and I would like I had a whole track season I had to do by myself, like my workouts and stuff, because it was against NCAA rules for me to run with UVU. So we followed all the rules, and I had to do all the workouts by myself and run by myself. And of course, my husband couldn't necessarily do all my runs with me because he's doing his own thing and his own running with his own team. So that was super hard. But I feel like it taught me a lot mentally, to be tough, and I had to be really disciplined because I had to go do it by myself. But then eventually we ended like that summer. It was so much fun because I would run with him all the time. Like it was like our dates. Like we'd go run
Yeah.
or I'd run with him and his teammates, and that was so much fun because they became my friends too. Um, and so and I just like gotten so much involved in like the Utah running community, which was so fun because there's so many people a part of it and so many amazing people a part of it. And so we started to run together. Whether or not I wanted to go fast or slow, I had to go with him and go fast basically every run. Um, so that helped, I guess. That probably helped. But I think what's funny is like I don't think I expected myself to be as disciplined as I was, and it was all because of him. Like he set such an example for me of what it takes to be such a great athlete. I mean, we seriously would like say goodbye in the mornings and I wouldn't see him till like 7 p.m. every night. Like
Yeah.
that was just like how our lives were with running. And I loved it though because I could also like talk to him about things that he could understand that like non-runners can't. So it'd be
Mhm.
like, listen, guess what? Listen to this workout or listen to what I
Yes.
did or these times. Which was so like it's just like relieving to be able to have someone kind of understand what you're going through and the dedication it takes. Um Sorry, I got off track. What was your question? Am I answering your question?
You answered it. You
Or
got it,
did I
girl.
overboard answer it?
Well,
I'm just showing off.
it's okay. I trust me, that's 100% of the conversations that I have during the day. I'm
Like,
like,
am I going too far?
how did I start
No,
talking about this? You are good. You
Literally.
answered it. Just more about how you and your husband, if you guys
Yeah.
even able to run together or did, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
and well, now he paces me for workouts and stuff.
I
Like, he'll help me
love
with my workouts, which is fun, and he'll
mhm,
do my long runs with me and help me to make them a little bit faster. So, he's, like, so helpful in so many ways. He is, like, applying for PA school and stuff right now and working a lot, and so his running has taken a little bit of a back step just because he's focused more now on kinda, like, his future and future schooling and how to support our family. But his like support for my running, I feel like has gotten like tenfold, which is super. I'm super grateful for. I mean, he comes to my races with me and helps me with Theo. So he's super awesome.
I love that. And I love that he's recognizing like his season is just different right now and that your
Yeah,
season is kind of to shine in your running
yeah,
world, and again, it's that like it's a balance that I feel like what makes
totally.
marriage work, especially when you both come from like a competitive background in a sport. It
Yeah,
can be really easy to like kind of get frustrated with that. Like, well, you're taking time and I need time. And, I think a lot of marriages can struggle in that aspect of like making sure both people are getting what they need. But I love that you guys are able to kind of just start navigating that now with your first kid. I feel like it takes some people just multiple kids till they're there, and it's cool that you guys are already trying to like figure that out and he acknowledges that too. So
yeah,
I do want to dive into the fact that you desired to become a mom. It wasn't like an accident. I'm assuming, like, I don't know if you guys are necessarily planning to have a kid, but I kind of want to dive into that motherhood scene now. So you're at UVU now, you're running, you have a amazing scholarship. Your husband's at BYU. You guys are both figuring this new season of life as a newlywed couple. When did motherhood enter the chapter?
yeah.
Uh, what would like you talked about like desiring to become a mom. Was that ever like your goal in your life did you ever envision yourself having a child in college? Like at a college level?
Yeah, that is yeah. I mean, I feel like I always envisioned myself being a mother. Definitely not in college, I would say. I don't think that was ever like if you know me though, you know I just fly by the seat of my pants
Mhm.
sometimes. Like I just do this and I'm doing this and I'm doing this and going here. Um, and not that I didn't give it a lot of thought because I gave it a lot of thought, and a lot of prayer. And it was just a feeling I couldn't shake. I had gotten done with cross country and I wanted to get pregnant like right then and there. Like I was like, oh, I want a baby so badly. Like I want to be a mom so badly. That's just like something that I just would always think about. And I would talk to my teammates about it all the time. Like they probably were like, okay, just have a baby then. Cause it would just be like just in all my conversations, I'd be like, what if I just got pregnant now? And then I could do this with running and this and my husband was a little bit like he he was on board, but he was a little bit more of the one that was like, okay, let's think this through just a little bit more. Um, do you think like you would want to wait, be out of college? Like, and I was like, no, like I want a baby so badly now. I want to be a mom. And it felt like this sounds weird, but it felt like it was almost holding me back. Like that feeling of
Yeah,
wanting to be a mom so badly would just invade my mind that it was almost like I couldn't focus on running or I
yeah,
didn't feel truly content with what I was doing because I knew that like wanted to be a mom so badly and that was always in the back of my mind that it was almost like running just couldn't fulfill me in that aspect because I didn't feel like I had everything I needed at that point. And so what was funny is when we when we finally decided after a while of thinking about it to have a baby, it was like right after like we were both done with our track seasons and I got pregnant within a month of trying. I was very shocked. Like I expected it to take longer, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
So when that pregnancy test was positive, I was like, "Oh, yeah, okay, like, it's positive.
Yeah.
That means, yeah, we got the clock's ticking already. Here we go." Which is so funny. Yeah.
That's amazing.
What was that like? Because you're training with runners that I'm assuming aren't even married yet, right? Like, I'm sure there's some that aren't even married. You're pregnant now, you're married, you're kind of like onto a whole new chapter of life that like most people don't know what that's like yet. What was that like? I'm curious what that relationship was like for you as a college runner in the college scene, but also living almost this like outside college experience that isn't normal in the college world. Like, what did that feel like being pregnant and married and your teammates like single and young and still
I
being a
know.
college single person?
Yeah, I think it was, like, almost expected in a way because of how much I talked about babies.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't, like, necessarily, like, surprised. Um, but I think it was almost like, "Oh, it's just funny because you could have waited just a year." Like, really? Like, in reality,
Mhm.
like, all you needed to do was wait a year, then you would have been done running, and then you could have your baby. Um, but I think, like, some of my teammates also, like, actually, like, a couple right now are pregnant, which is so fun, and, like,
Crazy.
who have finished running, and they were like, "No, I totally get it. Like, you just wanted to be a mom, and now you are, and it's amazing." And it's funny because I always had the mindset that I was gonna come back. I don't know if everyone believes that, but I always wanted to come back and run. It was something that, was like, it wasn't even a question, which is funny. Like, my coach, I remember we talked about me being pregnant, and he was like, "Okay, well, you better come back." And I was like, "Yeah, of course. Like, that's
Yeah.
already all written on the calendar. It's happening. Don't worry about it."
Calendar.
Um, but, it was a little bit isolating in a way too. Um, because my life and it honestly, it is still a little bit isolating, because I'm just in such a different phase of life than so many people. Like, I have my mom friends, but also they're not in college anymore, and they have, like, multiple kids. And then I have, like, my other friends who, yeah, aren't even married, or I have my friends who are just getting married. And so, in a way, it was also just, it was a journey that I I just really had to walk alone with God. Like, it was just me and God, and, well, I guess my husband too, of course. But, like, it was a little sad and lonely at times, but I think that it also helped me in a way, if that makes sense, like, to just push through and be like, "Okay, like, I made this choice to be a mom. I'm excited to be a mom. I'm excited to come back and run." Yeah, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Did it feel like that piece that you were missing, did it feel like that was fulfilled when you did go back?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Like, it was like, "Okay, I accomplished everything I wanted to in life, like, by being a mom, having my baby, and now I get to run while I do it," which is, like, the
Mhm.
coolest thing. And then being able to take Theo along with me on all these, like, he came to me with, like, to, like, almost every race. And
That's so
so,
cute.
yeah, it was so fun. Like, it really was, like, full circle to be, like, sharing those moments with him, and, like, um I would bring him, like, not on stage with me because I guess there wasn't, like, a stage, but, like, when we would get awards, I would, like, bring him with me to, like, go get an
Heck
award, which
yeah,
was
you
fun.
did. You
Yeah,
gotta brag that up.
I know. At nationals, I wasn't gonna bring him up just because I was like, "Oh, I don't know." I was like, "It's okay, like, I don't need to." And my husband, like, literally comes back, puts him in my arms, and is like, "You bring him up."
Yeah.
And I was like,
Good.
"Okay,
Love
you're right."
that.
And it really was, like, I am so grateful he did that because having him up there with me, I was like, "I did this, you know, I did this. I did
Mhm.
both these things together," which is so much
Mhm.
fun.
That is so cool. Well, I mean, for you, it's pregnancy, it's the running that and you're maintaining a scholarship, and then also the postpartum aspect. So, I'm
Yeah.
curious if you could take us a little bit through what the actual running pregnant in college as a track athlete, what the running portion pregnant looks like, and then obviously you have your postpartum phase and what that looked like for you.
Yeah, so I remember just seeing, like, online, it was like and you guys can too attest to this probably more than I can, but you're supposed to do kinda like half. of what you were doing? Is that kind of what it is
I feel
around?
like yeah, I feel like a lot of people push you into just like you have to immediately take it down. And it's like instead of being intuitive with your body,
Yeah,
which women are, we have a menstruation cycle or most of
yeah,
our lives and all these things. And so we have to be so intuitive with our body. But yeah, I feel like the push has always been like, oh, you're pregnant, you have that positive test, so you better
yeah,
just be scaling it way back.
yeah. And so I kind of like I will say though, early pregnancy, I was so unbelievably sick that I didn't even run. Like for the first like I don't even know, like 8 weeks, which I would have loved to, but I was throwing up. I was trying to like figure out how to cope with the sickness. It was something that I'd never experienced, obviously, and I was like, wow, this is like I can't even get out of bed some days. It was like something that I think next pregnancy I will be more on top of taking care of myself and making sure I can still like get outside and just eat enough. I think I got to the point where like I didn't even want to eat sometimes because I was so sick all the time that it was like I don't want to eat this granola bar, then throw it up like 2 minutes later. But I got a lot better at taking care of myself. Um, and then I started to run again. And at that point I was so far behind my teammates, like honestly, like I was in a whole nother they were in a whole nother world than me, which is okay. But my coaches, which I loved this, my running was so just whatever I wanted, really. Like if I wanted to go do a workout with the girls, like I just showed up to practice and I just get dropped and do a workout with them. Well, behind them. Um, and I ran when I wanted to. I ran whatever paces I wanted to. It was really just like tailored to me. I didn't have like a plan or anything. It was just like, okay, this is what feels good. And for me, I was doing 70 miles before I got pregnant and like 35 felt good. And I was like, okay, we'll do 35 miles a week and that feels good. And so that's kind of what I would do. Um, and I'd weight lift here or there if it felt good and if I wanted to. 29 weeks though, I like that sciatic nerve pain. I don't know if you guys have experienced that, but that is terrible.
Yeah.
And I was limping. Like I remember I couldn't even like walk right. Like my nieces would make fun of me. Like they'd be like, "I'm Grandma Morgan," and
Correct.
like limp. I was like, "You guys are so mean." But I had to stop running after 29 weeks, which was like it was hard because I was like, "Oh, I really wanted to, like, keep going all the way through," but it was also like, "That's okay, that's just what my body gave me, um, for this pregnancy, and I'm happy with what I got," and so instead, I would bike with my husband while he ran every morning. Just get up and bike, and that's just, like, everything that's all I did, like, until I, had Theo, so
I love that you talked about how rough it was for you. I'm kind of glad that you have this like opposite perspective because I do feel like people think, oh, she's having her first kid, she's a collegiate runner,
yeah,
she's high caliber, she's running 70 miles a week. So you naturally think that's what's your pregnancy is going to look like.
yeah,
And I love that you discussed that your first trimester was rough. It was brutal because there are a lot of women that can relate to that are like, I have like no energy. I
yeah,
can't even feed myself. I can't even dress myself,
yeah,
and that's such a real relatability. And then the fact that you had to stop at 29 weeks, that is hard because technically if you went full term or close to full term, you still had several weeks that you had to wait. And I can only
yeah,
imagine how much that like you don't lose that competitive side to you. You don't lose that desire to not like to want to go and run. And so I can't imagine how hard that probably was watching your
yeah,
teammates go out there just like crushing it and your husband out there while you're on the bike and wishing so bad that you were next to him running. But I love that because I think that there are so many women that have that envy, which rightfully so. Like I've had pregnancies where I didn't run at all, and I've had pregnancies that I ran up to 20 weeks and that was it. And it's very hard. Like
yeah,
it's all has its different hards, but it's very hard to have to sit back and feel like you're losing kind of who you are for this baby, which is such a beautiful sacrifice,
yeah.
but it doesn't mean that it's easy. And I'm just curious what went through your mind mentally when you were going through that last trimester of no runs to like mentally stimulate all the insanity that was going on internally and externally. Like, what were you feeling in that moment of your last trimester? Like, how were you like on a mental level, mental health wise?
Yeah, I was so ready to have him. Like, I was like, especially when so actually at that point, me and my husband were moving. So we were moving apartments. I was pregnant and working and trying to run. And then I obviously couldn't run anymore. And that was really hard. And it made me sad, but it was also we were going through so many things at that point that quite honestly, I just got lost in like my job. Like I just was like, "Hey, I'm going to try and work a bunch and try and earn some more money before we have our baby. And I'm just going to focus on finishing school and I'm going to focus on and it was also like around Christmas break. And so I had like family and we had like events happening. So to be quite honest, I really got lost in all of that. Like just in the preparation of having Theo come that I wasn't too bummed. As weird as that sounds, I wasn't like too upset because I was like, well, like I just have so much going on right now that maybe it's just a sign that I need to slow down a little bit and that's okay.
I love that. It's because there's really no right way to do pregnancy, and so and nobody really gives you a guidebook on it. Like there is information, but you were in a very unique situation. Like you're not able to really turn to teammates and be like, "Hey, when you were going
Yeah.
through pregnancy, did you focus on that?" Like that it you are in a very unique situation. So that is very, very cool that you were able to just kind of be distracted from it instead of dwelling on it. Because I think especially like, I think it would be really hard, especially when it's something you've been doing for so long and you're involved with an actual whole team. It could be easy to look and be like, "Am I missing out on this?" Or,
Yeah.
um,
And
so
there were
once
those moments for sure.
oh, I bet.
I would watch my teammates race and be like, "Oh, I'm so proud of them, but I'm so jealous," you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally. Yeah.
yeah. Um, really quick, when when a track season or cross country season is over, because you said you got pregnant after the season was over, are you guys still running together, or is everybody taking a break?
Usually, yeah, so after the season, you take a break, you kinda do your own thing, and summer training is really lax,
Mm,
and that's for the reason of your coaches technically, they aren't allowed to, like, hold practices or really talk to you, it's, like, they are allowed to talk to you, but there's a lot of NCAA rules with that,
okay.
because I mean, it would be like, an unfair advantage, I guess, if a coach was able to hold practices and make everyone come and
Mhm.
run together, and so they're allowed to communicate with you to an extent, but summer practices, like the summer is basically on your own. It's really voluntary if you wanna run with your teammates, and so it's really up to you to put in that, effort to meet and run together.
That's nice. So that first trimester, you weren't, like, missing out on a ton of things. Oh,
No.
that's good. That's really nice.
Yeah, and so when I told everyone that I was pregnant, it was actually at our, like, cross country camp that year.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so
it was funny, we
cool.
were all talking about our goals, and we all, like, went out and set our goals, and, I was like, "Mine's to be the best, like, mommy ever," and it was so funny because
Oh,
everyone was like,
here she goes
"Okay?"
again.
Like, they were so confused, and then they were
Like,
like,
this is
"Oh,
stop.
she's pregnant!"
Yeah.
It was
Oh
so
my
funny.
gosh.
That
That's
is so
amazing.
cute. Well,
Yeah, it was
rolling into your postpartum, so you had your whole pregnancy, you stopped at 29 weeks, you had your baby. When did you have your baby? Like, how far did you make it as far as pregnancy-wise until you had Theo? And then what did the return look like? Because you're also navigating a whole new season. It's not like you have another kid before this, so
yeah,
it's like everything is a first-time experience, and I think that's what's so magical with your first is, like, it's all their first, but it's also all your first too, so you're kind of, like,
yeah.
growing up together, and so I'm very curious to hear, like, what that looked like coming back into running, like, how were you able to kinda navigate that, like, "'Kay, can I run now? Is this the right time?" Just trying to figure that out for you versus, like, what everybody's opinions are, so yeah, walk us through, like, your postpartum comeback.
Yeah, for sure. So I had Theo at 39 weeks, like, exactly. So I had him a week early, and I was really just focused on, yeah, just, like, having that time with him and recovering. I would go on walks. I'm not quite sure, like, how long after, I got home from the hospital, I started going on walks, but I would go on, like, little walks, here and there, just really slow, just, like, around, like, the park by our house, just to get outside and moving, but, like, again, still trying to let myself heal. Um, and I remember I would, like, sneak in little runs here or there, because I was so excited. I would like do like, okay, I'm gonna run for like a minute, like just like a really easy minute, like here on this walk. And then I'd like run a little bit and then there was like some runs. And I ended up running like a mile and I was so excited to tell my husband. I was like, I ran a mile. Guess what? I'm so cool. And then I would do like, yeah, maybe like I got up to like a 2 mile run and I felt like I was on top of the world. Um, but I was never in pain. I want to preface that because I think a lot of people are like, wow, that's too early. You need to let yourself heal. I I was very, like you said, like we are intuitive with our bodies. We know I was never in pain. I also never had like I had pelvic floor soreness, I would say, but I was never like peeing my pants. Like I know that sounds weird, but like I knew like it was like I was doing my exercises and I was like, okay, my pelvic floor is pretty strong. So weird as that, because I'm not peeing myself every run. And I remember at 5 weeks, I was like, we're just gonna go for 20 miles. And
Mhm.
so at like 5 weeks postpartum, I started at 20 miles. And truly I just kept going up from there. If there was like a week I felt like, man, that was kind of pushing it, I would just keep my mileage the same. Like I think I went like 20, 25, maybe it was like 30, 30, 35, 40. And I just kept going up until I was around, I think 70 or 60. Like I just was back to kind of where I was.
Yeah.
That's
Were
amazing.
you incorporating any workouts at this point? Like as you're building up mileage, like would you put in like any fartleks or anything like that or strides or anything like or were you kind of just focusing on like aerobic foundation?
Yeah, so there's this one hill by our house and it's like a doozy. Like it's a mean hill. And I kid you not, I would do my run and make sure my mileage, so I would walk. So I would start my run or start my like whole this was like a whole thing for me. So I would walk a mile to start out. So I'd walk a mile, make sure I was down the hill because running down that hill with a stroller is like deadly. And so I would be like, yeah,
Yeah.
like I know it sounds so funny, but it would. I would like I was so afraid he
Yeah.
was gonna fall or something.
Yeah. Or
We'd be
you
down.
were gonna get dragged
Yeah,
down the hill.
Yeah. You know when you put the wrist strap on and you're like, "Oh, that's what it's for." Yeah,
yeah.
totally.
So I
Yeah.
was scared. So we would get to the end of the hill and I'd start my run. So I'd go on my run, however mileage out and back, and I'd make sure my run ended at that hill. And I kid you not, I would go, I'd have headphones in, I would play like a song that I knew was gonna give me life, just whatever song, and I would sprint up that hill with him, like up
That's
the like
impressive.
with the stroller after every run. And that was like, but I guess my like little workout was like, okay, this is my hill challenge and I'm going to see if I can get faster every time. Like what my times will be pushing the stroller. And that was pretty much what I did, honestly. I took runs maybe a little bit too fast at some points here or there because I was so excited. And I'd be like,
Yeah.
guess what pace I ran, like to my husband. And he's like, are you sure you're supposed to be going that fast? I'm like, okay, I'll slow down a little bit. But like I
Yeah.
would always just up that hill was like my goal.
That's so cool. I love that you just kind of have this personality of like the glass is half like full, like versus half empty. I think that comes very natural to you. And I think that probably poured into so many like moments with you pivoting your life, like having to move to UVU and adjust accordingly. And throughout your pregnancy, like being able to run the first trimester practically like at least half of it and then the last half of your pregnancy not being able to run and then just like kind of winging it like into your postpartum like by the way there's no apologies needed here like I feel like I'm gonna be the same way on this postpartum like I cannot wait to ride without a child inside of me and it's gonna probably be wild and I probably won't document it because I don't want to be snarked on but I think it's just really cool that you have to kind of lean into your own unique journey. And I think a lot of people struggle with owning that. I know I personally have, like feeling like they have to be apologetic over their crazy, chaotic journey, what it looks like on the outside to other people. But you've just leaned into it. And I think there's so much that comes from you just being very optimistic with life. I don't know, I'm curious, like, has that always been, like, something you've experienced throughout your life? Like, when things get hard and things get rough or things don't go your way, are you just, like, naturally a person that leans into it and fights for it or fights through it? Or are you kind of, like, somebody that pulls back?
You're so first off, you're so nice for saying that. Thank you. That is such a nice compliment. I feel like I'm so stubborn, to be quite honest. I'm a really
Yeah.
stubborn person, and I feel like, yeah, I guess I just fight, like, I try and fight. I feel like, and I also knew, like, I guess with this pregnancy, um, like, obviously, it was my choice to be a mom, and
Mhm.
so I think with that comes a sense of, like, okay, like, all the struggles that I'm gonna face after this, it was my decision. And so I think that helped, if that makes sense, to know that, like, hey, like, and also, like, babies are worth it. They're worth the sacrifice, even though it's hard, and they're worth, like, so there's some days even now that I'm like, I really want to get this done, like this workout done or this like run done, and it's so hard with a kid, and it makes me sometimes crazy, honestly. And I'm like, dang it, like I really just want to be able to go do this, and I can't. And then I have to remind myself and come back down to earth that it was like, okay, but think about all the joy, all the memories you're getting, like just the beauty that it is to like raise a child and see them grow. Like it is so much more worth it than maybe like this moment that you're not able to get for yourself. And I think mothers are the most amazing people on earth, really. I think they are. I think they're so selfless because being a mother it's so hard. It's been really hard for me. But it's been the most rewarding, amazing thing of my whole life as well. Um, and so I think just remembering that it's like, you're doing this for your tiny human makes it just easier, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I love that. With having an infant and training and being in college, what kind of a support system do you have? Do you have family that comes down, or like what does that look like schedule wise? Because it is so hard to go from having free, even when you're pregnant with your first, you do have certain freedoms that just completely go away, and that can be really hard to reconcile at any point in your life, that your schedule will change so much, and then adding like the high level training that you're doing on top of it. What does that look like?
Yeah, I think I've been asked this question a couple times of like, how do you do it all? And I'm like, I don't. I really don't. I have so much help, so much help. So we live in a basement apartment in my in-laws, and they are so kind and gracious. They will watch Theo for me. I trade babysitting with my sister-in-laws. And my mother-in-law and my father-in-law are always so kind to watch him. My husband has been the biggest help. He is so helpful. He has been able to watch Theo so I can run and help me find babysitting so I can run. I feel like I really have like such a big village around me that I've been so lucky to have. Um, and my coaches, they do not even care. I won't even tell them I'm bringing Theo. I'll just bring Theo to practice and they will watch him the whole time I run. They are so amazing. And I am so grateful for them and the support that they've given me. I've been able to bring him on all my races. I don't know if I would have been able to do that at another college. And they've been so kind to help me with everything. My teammates, they will help me carry my stroller. They'll help carry Theo. They'll help change Theo. They'll help do everything. Like, sorry. I feel so lucky because like, it's been, like, everyone hands on, really, like, everyone hands on for me, and so I don't do a single thing alone, I do it with everyone else.
That's so incredible.
Yeah.
I can't help but speculate, is this because it's Utah? I mean, like, I am wondering, like, it's just so normal here. I don't think it's normal to have a baby in college, but it is so normal to have a baby so young here. And then that Utah is it statistically, I'm not just saying this, it is more family and community oriented than any other state for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, Idaho might be up there as well, but it is known to be very community oriented. Do you think that other people would experience this if it wasn't for the location that you're in?
Um, sorry, it makes me laugh that you say that because 'cause I've had comments on my Instagram that are like, "This is Utah." Like, people
Oh,
are like
yeah, when you were like, "Oh, we got married and we're in college," I'm like, "Yeah, it's so Utah."
literally comment and be like, "Oh, she's from Utah," and everyone will be like, "Oh, okay." Um,
Okay.
like, yeah, seriously, they'll be like, "Oh, she's from Utah." No, I totally agree with you. I think that, for sure. And also, like, again, I don't know exactly what it's like to be out of school outside of Utah, but, like, the community that UVU has is very special. And I can't attest to, like, if other colleges have this, but we are coached by, one coach, men's and women's side.
Oh, wow.
And some colleges aren't like that.
Yeah.
Like for BYU, for example, has a women's coach and then a men's coach. And so for me, it's like we're all like we're a community, like all of us together, and that's why I think I've also gotten so much help is because like not only like does the girls team care about my success and like me want the best for me, but the boys team does too. They're so gracious and so kind to me, and I think it's just like that sense of yeah, like just community that we have here that I think is special. That also helps. But yes, being in Utah is definitely yeah. To answer that question, yes.
Yeah, I can't help but wonder, I'm like, okay, if someone was going to college, like, I don't
Yeah.
know, in Iowa, at the University of Iowa, I'm like, I'm not picturing people with a
No.
stroller and,
Yeah.
like, it's just not a thing. I can honestly say I never saw a single, like, mom going to college. Like, I wasn't in paramedic school with someone that
Yeah.
was, like, pregnant at the time, it's just
Yeah.
I mean, here, I feel like in Utah, revolving your life around pregnancy is a lot more commonplace,
Yeah.
however, I do think that what you did is still a very unique experience because,
Yes.
we just don't see that a whole lot. And I mean, with pros now, yes, like we mentioned that earlier on, but it's still like this crazy thing for people to compute that people can run at a high level and have children with them, like that are in the stands not that far away from them, and like normalizing that is really cool. And you're a part of doing that, which is awesome. So I love that. If you had to tell another woman or if another teammate was like, would you do this again? Or do you have any advice for me? What would you tell them, like with the season that you've experienced and with Theo about to turn 1? Like, what is some advice that you would give that someone is questioning the same path as you?
Yeah, I would say do it. Of course. I mean, it's been such an amazing journey. I would have never taken it away or changed anything that I've been able to experience, even though it has been difficult, of course. Just totally do it. I don't think you would ever regret it, really. I do think for I think motivation is honestly key.
Yeah.
Like it's funny because we are in this, community in Utah, there are, like, a lot of girls who run so fast and so well, professionally or close to professionally that, have talked to me about getting pregnant or having babies, and I'm like, "Honestly, if I can do it, you can do it." There's no doubt in my mind. Like, I don't feel like I'm special, I just think I was motivated. I was so excited to run again, after having to take a long break, I got to fall in love with it all over again, and, like, if you would have seen me pushing that stroller, you would have known, like, nothing's gonna stop her, like, nothing.
Yeah.
I really think anyone can do it if they just want to. I really think that's all it takes, and what's so cool is we're starting to see that more is, like, what was her name at the beginning of the podcast? Was it Brienne?
Brienne. Mm-hmm.
Like, that's amazing. Oh my gosh, I couldn't even run, like, at that point in my pregnancy, like, but it's because she's motivated and she wants to do it that she's doing it, and, like, I think people don't know that. It's like it's not a question of if you can do it, it's if you want to, you will.
Yeah. I love that. And I'm glad you're talking about people like a lot of our listeners are moms that are not like well past college age. And so
Yeah,
but people will still put off, doing certain, or they'll put off doing certain races for pregnancy and things like that, or they'll put off their pregnancy for races. And, just as someone like who like I'm done having babies, but if I was ever given the option again, it's like I would pick the baby all day, because
yeah,
it is like the races will still be there. I mean, like some of them are on their like 75th year of being around, and so it's like the races will still be there, but the like your childbearing years and feeling good during them, they won't always be there, I guess is kind of the path that I'm
totally.
taking with that sentiment, but, yeah, I love that you talk about that, and I love that you talked about that you do have a good amount of support and community around you that is actively helping you, because I think if, like, say someone is in a similar position, but they don't have in-laws, like, it would look very different for them to figure out,
Yeah,
like, "How am I gonna get this run in?" And, 'cause, childcare is, obviously, like, something that people will run into no matter what season you're in, so
yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna get a charger for my phone because it's about to die. I don't want
you're
it to
good.
die.
I guess
Um,
diving into like talking to your younger self, right? Like the younger self who you explained as didn't have standout high school times, who,
Yeah.
didn't have a college scholarship in the beginning when you first started running collegiately. What would you like? What would you tell your younger self where you're at now? Like, if you had the opportunity to sit down with her and just explain look like what you've done, top 10 at WC, like it's a huge deal after post kid, hitting probably some of your fastest times, I'm assuming, being postpartum. What would you tell your younger self who you didn't feel like
Yeah.
this caliber of a runner?
That is yeah, sorry, you guys asked such good questions. So thought-provoking. Um, that is a good question. It's actually funny because I remember when I was transferring from UVU, or from USU going to UVU, I was like, I'm like a good runner. Like I'll run and like, but I think I really want to like get like I want to like work more and I'll focus on school and like running can just be kind of like a side thing that I enjoy that like helps me pay for school. Um, and then it was like like a switch flipped and it was like, no, like you can be good, really good at this if you want to be. And I think my husband helped me see that is like I just wasn't giving any like discipline to it like he was. And I was like, if I can do that, then I can be great. And it's kind of funny because I just tell myself not to give up because and to keep pushing and to not sacrifice the gift that it is to run and to have that because I mean to be good at something is hard in a way because it takes responsibility, and it's taken me a lot more responsibility as I've gotten better, um, to continue to push myself and get out of my comfort zone, um, but yeah, I never would have expected to be here at this point in my life, really, ever. I never would have expected to be an All-American. That was something I never thought was even possible for me, um, so yeah, just to not give up, keep pushing, I guess, would probably be the best thing I'd say.
That's awesome. I think that's great advice, like, to anybody that's listening, no matter what age frame you're
Yeah.
in or where you're at in your season of life, like, telling your old self that there's so much to look forward to and that what's in the past doesn't define what's the future and that you can create whatever future you want. You're co-authoring your story, right? And so I think it's pretty incredible what you're doing right now. So
Thank you.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like I just posted something today about that. Like it's our job as parents to make sure that our kids know that they're not going to peak in high school, that they're not going to peak in college, that there's always going to be more out there for them as long as they keep just keep the dream alive and stay passionate about whatever it is. And that, I mean, your passions can pivot. I think that drive is inherently in you. So passions can pivot and you can put it all towards something new, but that the peak isn't when everybody tells you that it is, which everybody tells you it's going to be when you're, 19, 20 to 22. Like I always thought like, oh my gosh, my life is over. I'm gonna be uncool and just the worst at everything because I'm gonna be 23 and like I would have never thought like at 32 I was gonna be running faster than I was at 26, because age just plays such a huge part in
Yeah.
it. And so for you, it's very, very cool that you have your son that you get to share all of this with like showing him photos along the way, and that it's like motherhood has always been interwoven into your story and it didn't shut anything down. And I think that's really, really cool because for many of us, especially so many of our listeners who are um, we didn't start running until after we became moms or something like that, like I started a little bit beforehand and then I became a much more passionate runner after I had kids. And I think a lot of people experience that. And for us, running and motherhood is interwoven in that way where we're growing it together. And for you, it's just really cool because it was something that you got to experience like in this very unique experience with college and you are becoming more successful in your running career after having a baby, which is very cool. And yeah, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I had attest a lot of my success to like being pregnant, obviously, and being a mom, it's such a different experience that, like, I think it really helped me with my running, truly. I don't think I would be as fast if it weren't for my pregnancy and giving birth and learning from all those things and going through them, honestly.
Well, awesome. It's been so great to talk to you, Morgan. I feel like we could just continue to talk. I have
I
so many questions that we'll just have to have you on after your last track season. So you're just closing here. You're rolling into indoor track and then your final outdoor track season, right?
Yes, yeah.
What are like kind of your goals for the rest of the remaining of your collegiate career?
Yeah, I would really like to go to nationals for indoor and outdoor track, for the 5K indoor and for outdoor 10K. I'm trying to hit a 15:25K, and I know it's gonna be tough, but we're hoping.
No, I'm excited for you.
You're sweet. And then like a 30 to 30 10K is I don't know. Sometimes I just like never thought I would be able to hit, and I'm just at this point I'm like I'm just gonna go for it and put it out there because if I can become an All-American, I can do anything. So
Yes, you sure can. And I hope you continue to believe that. And the thing is like, what is it going to hurt putting your goal out there?
yeah,
Nothing, right? You
yeah,
miss it, so what? You run a couple seconds slower, so what? You're still so much
yeah,
faster. Like,
yeah.
there's no
Really.
negative putting a goal out there. And I am so thrilled. We cannot wait to follow you along on that journey. So,
Thank you.
well, thank you everybody for tuning in. And Morgan, where can people find you if they want to follow the rest of your collegiate experience?
Yeah, on Instagram it's just at MorGNokes. Morgan Nokes, because Morgan Nokes was taken apparently.
Yeah, yeah. Well, cool. Well, we'll add that into the show notes as well, and we'll obviously tag that in your episode promotion. But
Sweet.
we are so excited for you. We are just rooting for you for the rest of your remaining of your collegiate career, and even beyond that. We cannot wait to see you on the roads and joining on the half marathons, marathon.
Half marathons, marathons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can't wait to see you joining Northern Utah's group. There's a lot of sub-elites and elites and pros out there. Then you have great opportunity for what's ahead for you. So thank you everybody for tuning in. We would really appreciate it if you could rate, subscribe, and share our podcast. This is a very unique episode because we hardly ever get a college runner mom. So we're excited for this one to release, and we just hope that it inspires so many of you. I know I personally have quite a bit of college runners that follow me just from my track season. And so I hope that it just shows them that, hey, she's in her early 20s, she's still young, and she's having a baby, and she's still flipping fast. So I hope this inspires just all of our platform and audience base based on wherever you are at in your life. But yeah, we are looking for mom shout outs too. So if you have a shout out for yourself or a friend, please submit and share that with us so that we can brag you up on the next episode. That's all.
Bye.
Bye.